Hello Stampers, this is Sandra with Krafty Kreations with Sandra. Welcome to our Wednesday Live. I have some fun Christmas cards to share with you today. I hope you like them. So today, we're going to make 3 different cards. This one, this one, and this one, and then we have one more that I haven't made. Hi Mary, hi Rosa, hi Gina. How are you today, everyone? Welcome. So we're making Christmas cards, and what I really want is I want to introduce you to the new paper and the new stamps, but I also want to review some easy fun folds, all right? I teach you different fun folds all the time, but today I just wanted to have four fun folds in the same video, so if you ever want to create one, you can just go back and watch it. So this is a little fun fold. It has just a little flap folded over. This folds like this, and I'll show you how to do that. And then this is a gatefold card, and it opens like this, and it's got a belly band. So we're going to cut the paper together, and if I have mine cut, I'll explain how to do it. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to do this one first. It's the simplest one. And let me put my cards. I'm trying to stay organized, which is impossible. Okay, so first of all, let me show you the stamp set that I use on all these cards. I have these brand new stamp sets that I just got. Some of them are from the new mini catalog, and then some of them are from the annual catalog. So tidings and trimmings. This one has the stockings, and this one has dies that coordinate. And see, what I wanted to show you is these stars. These stars are awesome. And then we'll be using those on the first card. Look at that. So I've already die cut them because my machine doesn't really fit up here. And then I have the stocking. So this is a really nice bundle. Remember, you get 10% off if you purchase the bundle. So we're using that. Let me put those back before I use them. And we also have one called Snowman Season, and for this one I'm going to use the Let It Snow and then the snowflakes for one of the cards. And then this one is actually my favorite, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it has perpetual usage possibilities. These things will never go away for Christmas. You can use them over and over and over and over. So if snowmen are not popular, or if snowflakes are not popular, these sayings will always be popular. So that's in the mini catalog. That's my favorite. Okay, so we're going to start with a piece of, I told you to have 4 card bases, 2 that were 8.5 by 5 1/4. So this is one of them. And we're going to score it together. We're going to score it at 4 1/4 on the long side, on the landscape side. Put it at 4 1/4. We're going to score it with the light blade. All right. And then we're going to score it at 1 inch. It doesn't matter which side. That'll become your front. 1 inch. So there's my fold. 4 1/4, and then I did 1 inch on the right hand side. or it would have been 7.5 if you had gone the length of the on the trimmer. But I used the one on this side. Remember, we have a ruler on this side, so I just used the one on this side and scored. So we can fold our card like a regular, a piece of glue. Let me just set this aside for a second. We're gonna fold our card in half. Remember to fold and burnish, so your card lays flat. And now this little piece that we have, the 1-inch score mark, we're gonna fold it back. And instantaneously, there's our fun fold. You see how easy this is? Okay, so for this card, we're using the Designer Series paper. I tell myself I'm so organized and I lose everything. Hold on, give me a second. I have it. I found it in my pile. It's called Tidings of Christmas, and it coordinates with this stamp set and these embossing, these are die cuts. It goes with this. But look, it has some really pretty colors. There's 48 sheets. So there's all of these. And then of course, on the back side, there would be a whole other set of patterns. So that's the Designer Series paper that we're using. Oh well, I'll put that back later. Let me just put it where I'll find it. So here you can see I used 3 different patterns. I used 2 6x6 sheets, and these are my leftovers, so I just thought I'd use these for this one. So this is 4 1/4. We took off 1 inch, so this is 3 1/4. So we want our Designer Series paper to be 3 inches. This is 5 1/2. We take away 1/4 and it's 5 1/4. So we want 3 by 5 1/4, all right? So out of this piece, we're gonna cut. I already cut it at 5 1/4, so we're just going to cut 3 inches. And it's already 5 1/4. You could tell right here, 5 1/4, it's already at the cut line, right? So this piece is gonna go here. Then we have these 2 options. We need a 1 inch piece, 1 inch by 5 1/4 for right here, for the edge of this paper right here. And then we need a 3/4 inch for this little panel. And we can use either side. And I kind of like the white one. What do you think? I kind of like, because here it all looks too dull. Which one do you like, the green or the white? And this has to be 3/4 by 5 1/4. So I'll review the pieces right now, right? Don't panic. So we need 3 pieces of Designer Series paper. One measures 3 by 5 1/4. It goes here. One measures 1 by 5 1/4. It goes here. And one measures 3/4 by 5 1/4, and it goes in the middle section. Okay, and then the last thing we need is another piece of 3 by 5 1/4, and that's for the inside. It's the same size as this piece. Whoops. It isn't. Oh, because let's see. This would be 3 1/4. It should be 3. I cut it wrong, but it'll be fine. It's 2 3/4. It's a little short. It should be the same size as this, 3 by 5 1/4. So let me cut it again. 3 by 5 1/4. I'm gonna cut it at 3. I don't know why I cut that one by 5 1/4. I'm just turning it and then cutting at 5 1/4. So now it should be the same size. There they go. They're the same size. 3 by 5 1/4. Okay, we can get started. I'll put this right here so you can see it. This is just my scraps. I don't need those anymore. So we're going to take this large piece and we're going to center it on this panel here, and we're going to go ahead and glue that down. You like the white one, Mary? That's the one I like too, for the center. So we're going to glue this down to the front panel with an even border all the way around. Then we're going to glue the white. Since I only saw Mary's vote and my vote, we win. Hi Grace. Oh, I'm glad you like the wedding card. I took pictures. I'm going to share them with the group later on. I wanted to post them, but I didn't want to spoil your surprise for your wedding, for the wedding. Okay, this piece goes on the inside panel, right on the edge, also leaving a border. Okay, we're leaving an even border all the way around on all 3 sides. Oops, oops, scooted it in the wrong direction. Once it doesn't go where it's supposed to, then it's hard to put it. All right, so there's our card. Look at how easy that was, right? And that's a fun fold. You can choose to leave this loose, but I like putting dimensionals on it to close it. And let me find my dimensionals. I'm gonna put about 5. Just so that it won't sag. And then I'm gonna take your pick tool to take the backings off. Look, I don't know how I got red ink on myself. I better clean my finger before I get it everywhere else. Let me get a wipe. I don't know how I did that. Okay. So now I'm just going to glue this back. And there's my fun fold. Isn't that a cutie? Okay, so now I'm going to put this piece. Look, this piece, I did make it smaller. I don't know why I decided to do that. This piece goes here. Oh, because there's no border, that's why. Alright, so if I make it this way, it'll work either way. If I leave it like this, it just looks like a solid piece. I still can't see it. Or if I did it at 2 1/2 or 2 3/4, like the one that I did before, there's a border all the way around. Either way works. I'm just gonna go ahead and use this one since I told you to cut yours the same. Before I adhere it, I want to stamp it. And I'm using, it's the most wonderful time of year. And that comes from the Tidings and Trimmings. It's this stamp right here. I'm going to stamp it with Cherry Cobbler. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the colors in the paper are Cherry Cobbler, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent. Those two of the new in colors. And because it's a photopolymer set, we need a little pad. So gently tap, 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 tap. Not grind into the, and I'm gonna have to stand. Remember I told you that the easiest way to stamp straight is to stand up and stick out your butt. That's how you stamp straight. Ah, I got a drop right there. Pero está de simple. There we go. That's good enough. I got that little dot because I brought down my stamp before I was ready to stamp. Don't tell anyone. I won't. I won't tell anyone if you don't tell anyone. So this time we're going to put it right up against the designer series paper. So our border is even all the way around. There's no border here. It isn't wrong, it's just different. Okay, so there's her card so far. I already, hold on, I need a drink of water. I already die cut the stars. I die cut, and I'm excited to show you something else. I finally found my silicone mats that I've been telling you about forever. Here's my silicone mat. If there's glue on it, I just have to scrape it off. Any kind of glue comes off. So I already die cut the solid and the gold detailed one for the large one and the small one. I just need to finish poking out any of these little bits that didn't come off. They're not even attached, they're just kind of stuck there, but look, that was easy. Okay, so hold on, let me throw those away. So this is my awesome silicone mat, and I'm going to show you why it's awesome. We want to glue these stars onto the solid stars. It's going to get messy if we try to do it like this. The glue will be everywhere. Okay, hi Julia. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. And this is where my silicone mat magic begins. Then I'm going to take a sponge, and this sponge I always use for glue, so it's kind of tacky and hard, but that's what I use it for. So I'm going to dab a little bit of glue on my sponge, then I'm going to hold the star in place, and then I'm going to dab the glue on the back and try not to let it move so I don't get any glue on the front. So here I have glue on my star. Now I'm just going to glue it on, and I don't have a mess. You see? And I'm going to take the big star and I'm going to put it upside down, but not where I had just did the other star. I have to put it in a different section where there's no glue. I'm going to dab, dab, dab. And I don't have enough, so I'm going to give myself a little more glue. Another. So I'm going to dab, dab, dab. And you don't want it to be thick on your sponge. That's why I'm kind of pressing it in. And I'm trying not to let it move. It's bouncing up and down, but it's not moving. That way I don't get glue on the front. I'm going to set my silicone mat to the side. And I'm going to glue my star to my solid star. And there are the two stars with no mess. Isn't that neat? Okay, so I have to bring my card back. And, oops, that's not the card. This card. And I'm going to place these here. I'm just going to decorate the front. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I'm going to show you how I did the holly for the next card. So I'm trying not to lose the berries. Look at the berries. Do you see that? How tiny? That's a die cut. I already lost one. Okay, so I'm going to make a tiny little banner right here. And I'm going to use this stamp that says, wishing you a joyful Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm going to do it on a 3/4 inch piece from the scraps that I have. Remember, I have my little jar full of scraps right there next to my workspace. I'm going to use cherry cobbler. And I'm tapping. And I'm going to need to bring it down close so I can see. Or otherwise you get to see my head. Let's see. I hope I did it. Yep, it's nice and straight. It's pretty good. Okay. Now I'm going to take my new favorite, and I'm going to slide it in, and I'm going to slide it in upside down just to make sure I don't get too close to the words. So there, I'm going to punch, and I'm making a little arrow cut. I'm not making a fishtail this time. I'm making a little point. I'm not doing this one, I'm doing this one. You see the difference? Okay, so I'm putting it in upside down, and I'm pushing it all the way in, and then I'm trying to make it even. And there's my little banner. So now I just have to adhere these. Now look, this piece right here is already popped up, right? So when I put this star right here, I don't have to pop it up anymore. I can just put glue on these two little legs of the, I don't know what they're called, points of the star. But over here, to make it even, I have to put dimensionals. So I'm going to flip it upside down, keeping track of where I'm going to put it. I'm going to take my dimensionals, and I'm going to put them everywhere but those two points. And then I'm going to take off the backings. And then I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here. You see what I was doing? So when I flip it back, these two get glued, and these three get dimensionals. And that way it's even. It's one level. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And this time I'm just going to keep this point for glue and the rest. So I'm going to flip it this way. I think maybe 3 dimensionals is going to be good enough for this. Or maybe just 2. I don't think I needed 3, but I put 3. I could have gotten away with 2, but I don't want it to droop. Oh, maybe I need 4. No, I'll just do 3. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. I'm going to slide this dimensional over a bit, more in the center here. And then I'm going to glue that there. There are my two stars. Isn't that pretty? And now I'm going to do the same thing with this. Glue here, dimensional on this side. Not here because there's already a dimensional on this star. So I'm only going to put 1 dimensional here and a little bit of glue here. A little bit of glue on this side and 1 dimensional, on this end. That's how you get glue everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to overlap it a little bit over the star, and then I'm going to make sure it's straight, and there is my finished card. I don't even think it needs any rhinestones because it already has all this gold. But if you wanted to put some rhinestones, let me see what I have. What do you think? Do you think it needs some? Some green ones? No. I was looking for some gold. But look, I think I found something that I like. These are just leftovers from a paper pumpkin. They're little sequins. And I think these are bright enough to show. So I could put one there. I really don't think it needed them. There. It does look pretty. Do you like it? Here's fun fold number 1 using a lot of the new Christmas products. Let's move on to card number 2. And card number 2 is this one. Let me clean up a bit. So I used a piece of evening evergreen, and this is one of the 11 by 4 1/4 bases that I told you to have. Remember, I told you to have 2 of each. So this one I'm actually going to cut with you. So we're making this card, and I want to show you the silicone mat. Look, the glue's drying, and I could just peel it off. Look. Do you see that? There's no mess. I'm just peeling off the glue. So when the next time I use it, there's no glue on it. Isn't that neat? And it works like that for any kind of glue. For the seal, for the tear and tape, for anything. Anyway, there's the awesome silicone mat. Okay, now we need 4 1/4 by 11. So I'm going to cut this piece at 4 1/4. We don't need this piece. Now I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. Using my light blade, I'm going to score it. And then I'm going to cut it at 2 3/4. I'm going to cut off a piece. I scored it at 5 1/2. I cut it in 2 3/4. So now I have 2 pieces. This is going to be folded over, and this is going to be attached here. And that's what makes this flag right here. You see how simple that fun fold is? This is my fun fold. You could use this over and over and over and over. You could use it like this. You can use it like this. You can use it like this. Every time you want to turn it and do something different with it, you can. Of course, there's lots of ways to embellish it and step it up, but today we're doing basics. Okay, so for here, we need a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm using this from that same paper pack, 4 by 5 1/4. Now I'm gonna tell you how I do it. I cut off the 3/4 because this is 6 inches, so I make it 5 1/4 first. And the reason I do that is because it leaves me this strip that I can later use on a side of a card or something. You know how we put it on the inside of cards? It leaves me a long strip. Then I'll cut it at 4. And of course this is a scrap too, but you see I didn't end up with 2 little pieces. I would have ended up with a little piece here and a little piece here. This way I saved a longer piece. So this will go here, just like that. And now we need a piece this is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. So we need a piece that's 4 by 2 1/2. 4 by 2 1/2. So I'm gonna get this out of here. And I'm going to do 2 1/2. Either way, I'm going to waste paper. I'm going to do 4 by 2 1/2. So now this piece will go here. You with me? Any questions? You like the red and gold together? That's really pretty, huh? This green is really pretty too. I like this rich green in it. I think this cherry cobbler makes the gold stand out a lot. This cherry cobbler, which is that same color here. Okay, so there's the base. And now we need a piece that is also 4 by 2 1/2. And I already cut that one, I believe. Didn't I? I have all these pieces. Let me see if one of them fits. One of them should fit. Well, one of them will fit in a second when I trim it. I thought I had cut it. So I need it to be 2 1/2. By 4. Yep. 2 1/2 by 4. Oh, I know why that piece belonged in here. In here. Anyway, okay. Let me not get sidetracked. Now this piece will go here, and this piece will go here, and we have the base of our card ready to decorate. Okay, let's glue. Ooh, first of all, fold and burnish. Remember, don't forget that step. Otherwise, your card will keep bouncing up like that, and it's hard to decorate when the card doesn't want to lay flat. And there, it lays flat. So we're gonna glue this piece first. In here. Remember, we only want glue. Oh, I'm running out of glue. On the edges, none in the middle. And don't put too much. It warps your paper. Center it. Then I'm going to do the same with this one. All the way around, not too close to the edge, because if you put it too close to the edge, it oozes out. And then an even border. And if you have that little fuzz, just run your nail along the edge and it'll disappear. Okay, so there's my card base. This will go here, and I can decorate it first and then glue it. Okay, so let's once again stamp that same stamp. It's the most wonderful time of year. You can use any stamp. I like the size of this one. And this card we're making exactly the same as the other card, as a sample. And the first card we did a little different because we used different colored paper, designer series paper. So here is my white, and I'm going to stamp this in the center to the right. Okay, I should have stamped it beforehand. Let's hope it's straight. I can't see. I need to put my head right here so I can see. Ah, very good. I like it. So now I'm going to glue this piece here. You want to do your stamping before you glue it on, in case you make a mistake. Then you don't ruin both pieces of paper. You can just flip it over, or you can just replace it, but you only replace one instead of two. So remember, just run your nail there, and then you get rid of that little fuzz. And I've already die cut the stockings. I didn't want to take too long. And I've already made the holly for both of them, but I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to show you real quick. So once again, I'm going to take my silicone mat, and right here I need to glue this to this little corner. So let me glue that while I show you. Give it a chance to dry. So I have the two holly leaves, which are part of the die cuts that I showed you. I'm going to put a dot of glue right there. And if I do it on my silicone mat, nothing will get sticky on my work surface. Then I'm going to take 3 little dots of glue, tiny little dots. Oh, I just needed 2 because I only have 2 berries. And here are the berries I told you. They were die cut. I just seem to have lost one, but since I didn't really need it, I didn't cut another one. They come in a little strip, and the little strip cuts. They come in a little strip like this, and it cuts 6 of them. You see that? So now I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to take the sticky side. I'm going to pick up the berry, and I'm going to put it in on the glue. Push it down with my nail. Do the same with the next one. And theoretically, I would do the same with the third one if I had a third one. But that's how I made these. Then I just let this dry. Okay, that's how I did it. I have them ready. Now I want to glue this piece right in the center. Remember, this piece belonged here. I just want you to memorize or really understand how we did this fun fold, so you could whip it out at any time. I just cut half of it. And if you can't remember, it's 2 3/4, you just divide 5 1/2 by 2, right? So I just need glue from this side, from the half to the left. So what I can do is I can flip it upside down, center it. This is where it's going to go. I flipped it like this, okay? I didn't flip it like this. I flipped it upside down. I'm going to center it. Then I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to apply it to that whole area, because there's going to be a lot of movement. And look, here's my section, my middle, and I didn't put any glue on this side. So when I flip it back, the glue is in exactly the right place. I center it once again. Make sure that it's straight. Just give it a little bit of a chance to adhere. And then I can add my stockings. Oops, my stocking didn't quite. I think I hadn't glued this one. I think I only glued the green one. This stocking is stamped in cherry cobbler. This one is stamped in soft succulent. And the reason I use soft succulent is so that it would stand out from all this green. Had we done the evening evergreen, it would have gotten lost. Okay, so I'm going to overlap them a little, like this, making sure I'm not covering my words. If I could switch it over this way, maybe I can have them hang a little more this way. Kind of of like, stockings do hang this way, don't they? They don't really hang this way. So we're gonna do this way, like this. Oops. Making sure I don't cover my words. All right, so I'm gonna put dimensionals here and here. I'm gonna do the green one first. I think I just need 3. 1, 2, and 3. Feel the back. And then you can lay this and then I'm going to lay this one right above it. So now I just need dimensionals here and one right here in the corner, okay? So I'm going to need one right here. And then I'm going to need 2 right here by the foot, in the foot section, because the other part is going to overlap with the first one. Oops, don't want to cover my sentiment. There we go. There's my card. Now I just need the piece that goes here, and that piece can be 2.5 by 4. I believe this is already 4, so I just have to make this 2.5. It's the same size as this piece right here. It's exactly the same size. And I think I stamped it wishing you a joyful Christmas, which is the same one that we had already used for the other card. There's a eyelash wandering around here. Tap, tap, tap. Wishing you I'm just lining up my paper since I really can't see. This is stamping my face because I can't see. Because there's a camera right in front of my face. Hold on. Then I used these leaves right here, and these are 2-step stamps. You first stamp the outline and then you fill it in, and I did that in soft succulent, and then I stamped these little berries. So using soft succulent, I'm going to stamp the little stems, the little leaves, and it's just random. It's wherever I want it to be. And this time, I think I'm going to do it more separate so the berries don't overlap. The little berries don't overlap so much. Okay, so I just did that. Now I'm going to take the filler. I'm going to ink it up. Then I'm going to stamp it off. Ooh, I didn't want to do that. I'll fix it right now. I'll show you how to fix it. This is not good. I stuck it in the wrong ink. I'm trying to find my shiny. Here's my shiny. That's why I don't like having 2 inks open. And I always try to close it, and today I forgot. Okay, so I'm cleaning my stamp. Okay, so you learn how to fix mistakes. Ink my stamp, stamp it off. Okay, so how do we fix that? We take this and we stamp some leaves right there on top of it. There, fixed. I was about to do the same thing again. You can't even tell. Okay, Hold on, I got some dimensional leftovers in my ink pad. I need to carefully remove. Then I need to close this one so I don't accidentally use it again. And now I'm going to use the little berry stamp. Let me clean my block with the cherry cobbler, and I'm just going to put the berries right there, and I'm going to put a few right there, and I'm going to put a few right there. You see? It's just whatever you want it to be. There's no rule of where to stamp what. Okay, now how do we put this in here so it doesn't show? This is how I do it. You take your piece, you put it under here, you center it, you put glue on it. Can you see what I'm doing? Oh, let me move these stamps because they're dangerous. I'm going to put glue all the way around, just like I always do for all the pieces I'm going to glue. I'm going to pick it up, not letting it move. I'm going to close this card on top of it. So when I open it, it'll be right where I want it to be, where it doesn't show. Did you see it? You can't hear me? You can't hear me, Julia? Can everybody else hear me? Maybe your volume is down. Maybe you what if you leave and come back? What if you turn it off? I mean, log off and then log back in? Okay, there's our card. Exactly the same. Oh, I put some rhinestones on this one, and I had some holiday rhinestones, so I went ahead and put some red rhinestones. Maybe it's in your settings, Julia. I'm going to put 2 here and 1 down here. And I have glue on my nail. I have ink on my nails. Look what I just did. I just ruined it. I should have quit while I was ahead. I'm just moving it. Well, this one kind of covered. That one is not going to get covered. But here's a chance for you to see the sand eraser. I had ink on my nail. Let's see if we can get it off. And if it doesn't come off completely, it will get lighter. Oh, I hate when this happens. Aside from it not looking as beautiful, it makes us take longer. So I'm going to concentrate on one side, because I can put the jewel on the other side. You see how it's getting lighter? I think that's good enough. And I could put the jewel, I could put a big one. Right there. There, fixed. Be careful with your fingers going into the glue. Okay, there's card number 2. On to card number 3. Let me clean up a little bit. Hold on. Oh, you know where I got the ink on my nail? When I picked up those dimensional backings from the ink. That's how I got it on there. But look, I have red and everything. Look at that. Okay, on to card number 3. Can you hear me now, Antulia? Okay, so card number 3 is this one. This is a gatefold card. We're going to use the second 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. We're going to score it. Remember, you were going to have 2 and 2. 2 short ones, 2 long ones. We're going to score it at 2 and 1/8. Score it at 2 and 1/8. And 1/8 is 2 little lines. Score it really well. I didn't tell you this, but you need a strip that's 1 1/4 by 11. I didn't tell you because I forgot. That's the best excuse. That's for my belly band. Then I also made a label from the scalloped contours dies. Those are the new dies. They go with the color and contour, and it's these dies. They're pretty neat. I used this third one. 1, 2, 3. I used the third one right here. Okay. And then I have a little piece that goes in here that allows me to see the stitching. This is 5 1/4 by 4, which is a standard inside for my card. But first we're going to fold the gatefold. So the gatefold just means it opens like a gate like this. So we're going to fold this side, burnish with your bone folder. And what I like to do now, and I haven't been doing this for very long, is I like to just fold this over. I didn't score it. Just like to fold it over gently, butt it up against this edge right here, push it up against, fold it, and then use your bone folder. And that way you get an exact match right here. If you score it on the other side at 2 1/8, sometimes they don't match exactly. Sometimes your score line can be a little bit off. So this is my new favorite way. Okay, so now I need 2 pieces of designer series paper that measure 2 by 5 1/4. 2 by 5 1/4. So we're gonna cut that out of this. They don't really have to match because the belly band is gonna cover most of it, so you really can't tell that they don't match. So you don't have to cut them side by side. You could cut them like this and your paper lasts longer. So I'm going to do 2 inches. Making sure I don't dunk anything into the inks. I'm going to cut 2 inches. And then I'm going to cut 4 and 4. Oops, that's not true. 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. Sorry. 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. Because remember, our paper is 5 1/2. We're taking off 1/4. This is the scrap. These 2 pieces will be glued right here. They'll be glued right there. I could make this 1 7/8, and that way I could have an even border all the way around. But I already told you 2, so let me change my mind. 1 7/8 is better. That way you take off 1/4. 1 7/8. You're gonna see the difference. And then I'm gonna show you another difference. 1 7/8. It's a tiny little piece. Now when I glue it, I'm going to have an even border on all four sides. Glue all the way around. I sound like a broken record, don't I? There, you see? My border is even all the way around. So what I'm going to show you is on my first card, I actually cut it at 2 and then I cut it at 5 3/8. So I still have an even border, I just have a smaller border. Look. I cut it at 2 and then 5 3/8, which left me a 1/16 of an inch. I know it's too much math. Don't worry. 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. You need 2 pieces. There is our front. This is our inside. You see, this is a really simple fun fold. You could do this again, I tell you, with any kind of paper for any occasion. So what I did is I stamped, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." And this is just jade, because that's one of the colors in the paper, in the designer series paper. So we're going to stamp, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." What did I do with the stamp? It should be on a block somewhere. Let me spot it. If not, I'm just going to choose a different stamp. Hold on. This great organization of mine. It's around here. I hope you're not saying, "It's right there, Sandra, it's right there," because I don't see it. I just used it. It has to be here. Okay, let's choose a different one. Let's choose... Let me see what I put on the front. Let's choose "Merry Christmas to you." It'll appear somewhere. It's here. It just probably has something on top of it. How can it be that I lost it? Okay. Let's not worry about it. We're gonna do "Merry Christmas to you." I'm trying to set it straight on the block, so when I stamp, I can just use the block. To make it straight. Okay, there we go. We're using just jade. I'm gonna use the block to make it straight. I'm just using this edge. It's pretty straight. Okay, then I'm going to use Fresh Freesia, which is one of the colors in the designer series paper, and I'm going to stamp a few snowflakes. I'm just going to randomly, I know I'm going to the side, huh? I always do that. I'm just going to randomly copy what I already did. I put one here. I put one down here. And then I put one around here. That's pretty cute. I know they're not Christmas colors, but they're the colors that are being used in the paper. So we want to match the paper, so this matches the paper. They're just non-traditional Christmas colors for this year. You know how sometimes they use pinks. And I guess this year they're using lavender. Or should I say fresh freesia. Once again, do all the way around. Center this. There's our gatefold. Now let's make the belly band. We're going to take this 1 1/4 inch piece. We're going to wrap it around. We don't want it to be tight. So we're going to just fold it over without tightening too much. And then we're going to fold it over again, meet in the middle, and you have to be able to slide it up and down because it's got to be able to come off. Now you see how long it is? It's way too long, so I'm just going to trim about 1 inch. There's no real measurement. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on this edge and on this edge. So when I close them, there will be, this edge will be adhered and this edge will be adhered. Just going to bring them together. And before it's too closed, locked, I'm going to make sure that I can move it up and down. Okay? You do have to press it because this will push it open and we don't want it to be that loose. We don't want it to fall off when you let go. Okay, there's my belly band. It does slide up and down. Now we're going to work on our focal point. We're going to stamp Let It Snow with just jade. We're going to let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Gently stamp it right here. And then we can take the snowflake once again and just randomly put a few snowflakes around the Let It Snow. I kind of thought Let It Snow fit because they are snow scenes. I'm just putting them there. Now I can glue this piece onto here. And then in my post I told you, if you don't have Christmas stamps or Christmas punches, you can just fussy cut, which is exactly what we need to do with this penguin. I just need to cut him out. I wonder if we should try this bear. It'll get lost. It's too much white. So we're going to cut the bear and we're going to cut the fox. Do you have any questions? Do you have any comments? Which one do you like so far? Do you like non-traditional colors? Well, Julia, did you go out and back in? Is that how it worked? You must have just had a bad connection. Look, I'm just leaving a little bit of a border. Don't hurry, don't panic, and you can do a fine job cutting. Remember, you learned to do this in kindergarten. Nobody's going to be measuring if it's even or not. You're just going to go around and get your little figurine for the focal point of your card. And you can do this with any paper. It can be flowers, it can be, I don't know, buildings, animals, whatever your paper has. And if you don't have a stamp and you don't have a punch or a die, then you have scissors and you can make it by cutting it out. A lot of our papers have figures that you can cut out. How many of you got your your mini catalog today or yesterday. They're starting to arrive. I had 3 people tell me already that they received it today. So hopefully you got yours. Okay, here's my penguin. It's gonna go here. And let me see if I can hurry with this fox. It's got pretty straight lines. I know I just told you not to hurry, huh? And then I'm doing it myself. Well, if you hurry, you get it wrong, and then you don't like it, then you have to do it again. So it's better to take your time. I'm just trying not to keep you so long, so that's where I'm hurrying. I'm almost done. This little squirrel is really cute. You know, when I first saw this penguin paper, I didn't really like it. I didn't really like the purple, the lavender. But it's grown on me. I really like the card. So he kind of has to go up so that he doesn't cover the sentiment like that. Or we could just put the penguin. Do you like it with just the penguin? Or do you like it with both? How do you like it? How do you like it? Both? Should we do both again? Let me put dimensionals on the penguin while I wait for you to answer. Both are pretty cute, huh? So let's put the penguin on. And I'm gonna come a little bit high and a little bit off, a tiny bit off, so that there's room for the fox. And the fox gets dimensionals all the way to the tail except not the tip. Because if we put any on the tip, it'll be hanging off the label. So I also have to kind of tip him up, because otherwise he looks like he's smelling his feet. So I want to kind of look like he's trying to reach up. Like there, like that. And then I'm just going to attach it here, and I don't think we need any more dimensionals. So I can just put glue almost all the way across. Don't go too close to the edges. Center it. And there is card number 3. Isn't that a cutie? Ha ha ha! I like it a lot. I tell you, it grew on me. There's card number 3. And then card number 4 I don't have a sample of, but it's kind of easy. Well, that's not true. I don't have a sample because I couldn't decide. So, it's not a new fold. It's the same fold that we just did a little while ago. It's 11 by 4 1/4. And I scored it at 5 1/2. And then instead of cutting it, I scored it at 2 3/4. So I did the same thing, except I didn't cut this off. Okay? So I scored it at 5 1/2. Scored it. Okay? So I scored it with my light blade. Then I scored it at 2 3/4 with my light blade. Then I flipped it over and I cut off 1/8 of an inch. A tiny bit, just to this first line. I cut it off. It's a tiny little strip. Then I fold it in half, and then I fold this in. Okay? And the reason we cut that 1/8 of an inch is so that it doesn't hit right here because we're making a pocket. We're making a gift card holder. So there's another fun fold. You see it's exactly the same size and the same measurements. You just fold instead of cut. And now I'm going to use a circle punch to cut out a little notch right here. And any circle that you have will work. If you don't have a circle, I learned just today, yesterday, recently, that if you have a heart punch, I didn't know this before, you could just use the circle. You see that round? And we still have these in the catalog. So there, you can make your notch with the heart punch. Then this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. You're going to need to learn that measurement because we use it very, very often for card bases. That's going to go right here. I'm going to go ahead and attach it. This paper is free in the Sale-a-bration catalog with the $50 order. And so is that penguin paper. It's part of the Sale-a-bration brochure. That should have been inside your mini catalog. Okay, so there's that. Now I have this piece that's going to go here. And I'm going to adhere it. But I have to cut 1/8 of an inch off because it's 4 by 2 1/2, but we cut off 1/8 from that piece, so we have to cut 1/8 off of this piece. Let me try and cut it this way. Let me try and do gentle, so I don't have those marks there. That looks better. So I had originally cut it at 4 by 2 1/2, but since we had cut that little piece off, then we want to cut that little piece off of this one too. Okay, so now I'm going to glue it, and then I'm going to go ahead and punch that out again. Okay? So we want to put glue on, let me clean my glue tip. We want to put glue on 3 sides. Look, I had originally thought I was going to use this color, but that white kind of clashed. So I went with this color, with this side. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on these 3 sides. You see, that's going to go there, and then I'm going to put glue on this right here. So that I don't put glue where I don't need it here. Did you see what I did? I put glue here, here, and here on this paper, and then here on the black paper. So when I put it on, the glue is right where it needs to be. Run your nail. If you see fuzz, sometimes if you don't get it right away, it's impossible to get. Most of the time you can hide it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my punch again, and I'm just going to follow that curve. And punch it. Okay, there's my little notch, so people will know there's a gift card in there. Now I can glue my 2 sides. Very, very little glue on each end. Ya me volví a mover, ¿verdad? I don't know what this affinity is that I have to the left side. So I'm going to close my pocket. And remember, I always tell you, if you can, stick a gift card in there right away so that the paper will glue with that little tiny space that it needs. Because the gift card does take up a little bit of space. It lifts it up a little bit. So I'm just holding it. Okay. Now here's where it gets interesting. My got another piece that goes here, and it's the same paper, and this one is 2.5 by 4, because this is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, so I just took a quarter off. Right, that goes there. I'm just going to go ahead and glue that. And you're going to get to vote right now. That just goes centered right here. And now I have this deer. And I think I want to use it like this. Well, this piece goes here. It's for writing. You won't be able to see it. But now you tell me if you like it. I want to put this deer here. And then I'm going to wrap this ribbon around. This is sheer ribbon. And it's real red. It's in the regular catalog. Because this was carried over from last year. I was all excited that I got my box for the new catalog shipment, and I got this ribbon, and then I thought, I think I have this ribbon in my stash, and I did, because it's from last year. Okay, I'm just trying to make a bow. So I'm going to slide it over to the left. Put it more in the middle, and then I'm going to put my sentiment. See if I can get this to stop sticking up. I'm going to put my sentiment right there. Do you like that? I could show you the other option. So there's option number 1. Okay? And obviously, we always need gift card holders. So this is a scrap. Nobody will ever know. But I haven't stamped it because I don't know if I'm going to keep it this way or if I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, now, if we decide to turn it this way, I thought this is where it gets funny. Because I didn't like this here. And this is too long here. You see, I don't think it fits. If I take off the bow completely, and I put the deer here, and I put the sentiment here. I just don't like it. How do you like it? Do you like it the first way? How do you like it? I like it like this. And I don't even know why I'm asking you, because I could have just made it, huh? And then told you this is how we're going to make it. But but I really was torn because I wanted it to be this way because it's simpler to open this way. But with my design, the paper that I chose, and the deer circle that I punched out, it does look better this way. Do you agree? Mary agrees. Yeah, Mary, I agree with you and you agree with me. Now let me try and put this back on without having to retie it. Taking bets, taking bets. See if it's gonna get on. There it goes. That's all wow. I have to redo it anyway. I need to get some tweezers, the kind that hold your ribbon. I've seen them, I just haven't bought any. Because I don't have an extra finger. My problem is I didn't give myself enough ribbon. That's my problem. And we can solve that problem right away. Sola haciéndome la vida de cuadritos. And just give myself more ribbon. Okay. So let me get rid of that. Let me put this back on. Let me make a ribbon that I don't have to struggle with. A bow, I mean. I could have also just turned it into a knot, huh? I just thought of that. One more try. If not, we're turning it into a knot. This one's gonna work. The hardest thing to do is to make a bow on camera. I usually make pretty bows, but I'm usually not on camera. Okay, we're gonna say that that's okay. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. Aguado. Let's try. Make a knot, I know, huh? But I want a ribbon, a bow, I mean. Let me try one more last time. If not, I'm gonna make a knot. We're gonna be here all night. I think I got it. There, I got it. Then I'm gonna put dimensionals on. Oh, look, and I had this extra one. I really like the circle. I just punched it out from the designer series paper. Look, this is the paper, and then this is, I just punched it out with a circle punch. With the 2.5 inch circle punch, I just punched it out. And it's the same paper as the one I used for the background. I hate it when they do that. They make the matching paper on the same page. Then you only have half if you're going to use both sides, if that makes any sense to you. Okay, let's put some dimensionals on this. We're almost done. Let's put this here. Let's trim these tails. And bring it up a little bit more so it doesn't cover. And then I can put this on dimensionals too. I actually did think to put a black mat around this, but I never made it, so we're just gonna go with this. Here's our little dearie. Do you like it? Now this goes in here. It's gonna be covered. And normally you would stamp something on it, but I'm not going to, so that we can finish. I'll stamp something in a little while. I'm just centering it up with an even border. So this is where you write your sentiment. There's your gift card holder, and that's the same fold that we used for the previous card, with the difference that we didn't cut the 2 3/4 inch piece. We just folded it over. So there are our cards for today. I really hope you liked them. I really hope you understood the fun folds so that you can duplicate them. And actually, this is the card we made today. Tell me, which is your favorite? These papers will be available on August 3rd. So if you're interested in any of them, let me know. Oh, look, we could put this here. No, that's too big. I'll just save it for another day. And there we go. I'll see you in a week. Oh, that's not true. We had the challenge. Remember the challenge? Today's the day that I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to do the drawing, but there's only 2 entries. Julia, the fox and the penguin is your favorite? This one? Aren't those cute? And I worried a little bit that it didn't have the penguin stamp set, because there is a penguin stamp set and there's a penguin punch, but I can't have all the punches. Anyway, I believe there's only 2 entries, Mary and Julia, for the challenge, for the July challenge. And the prize, I looked it up and now I forgot what it is. It's a stamp set. Yes. Oh, it's the berry one. So it's the sweet straw. No, it's something berry. It's this one. So what do we do? Let me make one of those wheels and I will post it with whoever wins it from the 2 of you, and then I will give the other one of you another stamp set. All right? I know I keep giving prizes to everybody, but it's just that I do appreciate that you participate in the challenge. That's the only way you're going to get to practice, and that's also the way that you're going to get to use the materials that you buy. You don't want to buy materials to keep them on a shelf. You want to buy them to use them. You have that set? You have this set, Julia? Okay, I'll give it to Mary and then I'll give you something different. Okay? That settles it. Then I don't have to do the wheel. Okay, and I'll post what I'll give you, Julia. I'll find something. Alright, well, thank you very much. I'm going to post a new challenge by the 1st of the month, and it will be due by the last class of the month. It was good seeing you all, or at least talking to you via the computer. Have a nice week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.